By now, you've probably heard that FedNow, the U.S. Federal Reserve's free instant payment system, is launching in the U.S. Like you and most in the risk industry, we're concerned about the fraud implications of this new payment system. If the Zelle experience is any indication, we may want to buckle up, because we could be in for a bumpy ride with FedNow. Zelle was created in 2017 by a group of the largest banks to allow instant digital money transfers. Since then, Zelle has become the most popular money transfer service in the US, with over $629 billion sent on the service in 2022 alone. But although it quickly gained traction, Zelle has run into major problems with fraud. In 2022, a US Senator's office did an investigation into fraud and theft on Zelle and found that Zelle users were scammed out of an estimated $440 million in 2021. They also learned that in 90% of cases, banks were not repaying the customers who were scammed. These massive issues made big news headlines, and it's easy to see why. Zelle's popularity and accessibility made it a prime target for scammers, and most believe that the same will be true with FedNow. After all, where money and the internet intersect is where fraud thrives. Since the results of the investigation were published, there has been a push in the US to shift the liability for peer-to-peer payment scams from consumers to banks. This means that banks would be required to reimburse instant payments made by consumers that they later claim were paid to scammers. At the same time, banks are raising the concern that if this policy change were made, it would lead to new collusion scams in which bad actors would move money across banks to partners in order to get reimbursed, effectively doubling their money. So, the growth of Zelle in the US has come with major growing pains. We should be prepared for a similar experience with the launch of FedNow. But what about beyond the US? What can we learn from the rollout of instant payments in other countries around the world? As a company with roots in Brazil, a growing hotbed of digital fraud, we've learned firsthand about the fraud risks for instant payments from the launch of Pix, Brazil's real-time transaction system. One big takeaway from the release of Pix is that instant payments make account takeovers, social engineering, and device theft more lucrative than ever. Because access to accounts set up with instant payments can mean big payouts, fraudsters are highly motivated to take over accounts, steal devices, or do whatever else it takes to gain access. The funds clear instantly, leaving little room for error or intervention. So what does all this mean for the US as FedNow launches? It's likely that FedNow will bring the same kind of challenges and increased risks that we've seen with Zelle and Pix. So it's important for financial institutions and businesses to put protections in place. To defend against collusion, companies should implement stronger user verification methods. One way to do this is to compare the exact location of a device to the address information given at account creation. This provides an identity assurance signal that doesn't add any friction for good users. These background signals can and should be implemented to fight account takeover attacks. As the ability to retrieve stolen funds becomes nearly impossible, financial institutions should consider using geofences to set transfer limits in order to reduce the potential payout of device theft or coercion. By setting a transfer threshold that is based on a device's proximity to frequented locations, organizations can protect their customers from losing large sums to fraudsters. With FedNow ushering in a new era of expanded instant payments, it's crucial that we learn from the rollouts of previous services. The significant issues encountered by Zelle serve as a cautionary tale. The popularity and accessibility of instant payment systems make them attractive targets to fraudsters. To prepare, we need to proactively put robust protections in place to safeguard users and limit risks for businesses. By doing so, we can foster trust, confidence, and stability in this evolving financial landscape.